Hello, welcome to day 338. And as you know, we're in the middle of NTI Ephesians. A lot of the exercises in the previous week have been asking us to pause and look at the content of our thoughts. Like, is this an anger thought, a shame thought, a jealousy thought, an attack thought, etc.? And kind of questioning, is this the type of thought, or is this the type of energy that I want to continue to receive in my experience? Do I want to continue to receive anger as my experience, or jealousy as my experience, or shame, or guilt, or defense, right? Fear. And the next week, we're going to be doing very similar exercises. The only difference is we're going to expand on that. Instead of asking, is this the kind of energy I want to receive? We're also going to be asking, is this the kind of energy I want to give? So, for example, anger energy. You might contemplate, do I enjoy turning on the TV and seeing anger and rioting and people walking into schools and shooting each other? And, is this the kind of energy I like seeing in the world? And if not, then why am I believing this anger thought? Because when I give my believing attention to this anger thought, I send that out into the world, right? The image of the world gets painted with that type of energy. So is this the type of energy that I want to send out into the world? And then, of course, it does also come back to me. So, and is this the kind of energy I want to receive? What I thought I would do today to help prepare us for this type of walkabout exercise that we'll be doing in the next week is I thought I would go over some different types of energies or different types of thoughts that are both wrong-minded and right-minded, to help us with that discernment. So you might want to grab a paper and a pen so you can write some of these down. Maybe you don't want to, it's up to you. But if you want to, why don't you just pause the video right now, run and get your paper and pen if you don't have it, and then come back and start it up. And I will go over some of these wrong-minded and right-minded energies that we may come across as we're practicing these walkabout exercises. All right, let's get started, shall we? So this list is not all inclusive, I should say that. I sat down and brainstormed some energies. I'm sure there's something that I probably forgot that maybe you'll come across or that you'll be aware of. But let's start with some wrong-minded energies. The first one is simply judgment, judgmental energy. And, if you pay attention to the news, you can see what judgment or judgmental energy does to the world. Racism is just one type of example. There's also lots of religious judgment, like when people commit crimes against Jews or against Christians, right? Or against Muslims, right? So judgmental energy is one thing we want to watch for in our mind and ask, is that the type of energy I want to send out? And is that the type of energy I want to receive? Also, just the perception of separation. Really, focusing on the fact that this person is separate from me or different from me. They don't think like I do, right? Any kind of separation energy. And we can see what separation does in the world too, right? Self-will. Wanting things my way. We could also call it selfishness, self-centeredness, and we can see what that does in the world. So is that the kind of energy I want to send out? Is that the kind of energy I want to receive? Giving to get. Giving in order to get something back from someone else. Desire in itself can sometimes be a very dangerous energy. It can lead to greed, can lead to war, can lead to stealing, cheating. Avoidance. Avoidance is another type of energy that can have a very negative impact in the world and on ourselves. simply thinking things should be different than they are, right? When we were in NTI Romans, we saw that really as the tiny mad idea itself, wanting things to be different than they are. So watch for that energy. Confusion. You know, when confusion comes, people wonder, well, what do I do with confusion when it comes? It's a good time to become the superconductor rather than believing and getting caught up in your confusion. Just become the superconductor and let it pass on through. Watch out for, watch your stories. Stories in the mind have a lot of these hidden energies in them. When you watch a story in your mind, you might find all kinds of fear, attack, blame, guilt, shame. Of course, another energy that is very negative: fear, anxiety, worry, stress. Fear, anxiety, worry, stress. Also guilt, whether we're perceiving the guilt in ourselves or in someone else. Also unworthiness or not good enough, whether we're perceiving that in ourselves or someone else. And the flip side of that, which is better than, right? Whether we're thinking I'm better than or someone else is better than. Wherever you have better than, you also have less than. Being very critical of either ourselves or others, that's a very strong judgmental energy. Arrogance, you know, I'm right, they're wrong. That causes a lot of trouble in the world. Of course, any blame or accusatory energy. Attack, even if it's just strong judgmental attack in the mind, but of course, any kind of physical attack as well. Aggression. Self-sabotage. Is there a self-sabotage energy? Is that what you want to continue to give the world and receive? Defense. Defense causes all kinds of trouble. Regret. Grievance. Frustration. Annoyance. Hatred. Anger. Jealousy. Envy. Having expectations of others, that's ones to watch for. That causes all kinds of trouble too. Having expectations of others, especially when they disappoint you. So also watch for that disappointment energy. Any kind of sense of lack. I don't have enough of, right? Any sense of lack. Think about all the trouble the sense of lack creates. You know, it creates the images of there not being enough food, there not being enough money out in the world. Causes a lot of trouble. Is this sense of lack that I'm feeling right now while I'm, you know, looking at Amazon and thinking I don't have enough money to buy what I want to buy? Is this sense of lack what I want to send out into the world and what I want to continue to receive? If not, then why am I giving it so much of my believing attention? Also, the need to control. Oh my gosh, that causes so much trouble. Think of all the religious cults or the very controlling governments that the world sees. The need to manipulate. And believe it or not, even the need to fix. Does everything really need to be fixed, or are we just creating more problems? You know, in order for that need to fix to be satisfied, there has to be a problem. Is it possible that my need to fix is just creating more problems for me and in the world? Or, am I just a problem seeker? Do I have a problem seeking energy going on there, looking for what's wrong? What about victim or victimizer? Seeing victimizer is kind of a blame energy again. What about feeling trapped? Like I don't have a sense of freedom. Just being reactive without pausing. Again, it's not a fully inclusive list, just a brainstorm list to give you some ideas of the types of energies you want to watch for. And again, ask, is this the energy I want to send out into the world and also receive? Let's look at some right-minded energies that might actually be helpful if you send them out into the world and helpful if you receive them. One is the desire to heal your own mind, not someone else's. That's the desire to fix. The desire to heal your own mind, or we could call it the desire to awaken, the desire for truth realization. Non-judgmental awareness, just watching, just being aware without judgment. Very helpful. In fact, remember, awareness alone is curative. Do you remember that video? Very helpful energy. Spontaneity, which is different than reactive. Spontaneity is just knowing in the moment what to say or what to do. It's a very clean energy, though, where reactive is coming against something, right? Spontaneity is always a gift. Having just this feeling that all is well, even if you don't understand how all is well, right? It's just, I know it's okay. That's a very helpful energy. All is well. Very similar energy, unconditional trust. Trusting all things as they are. Very helpful energy. Perceiving innocence. Like, remember Jesus on the cross saying, "Forgive them, Father, they know not what they do." He was perceiving innocence. Perceiving sameness. Instead of separation and difference, I'm not like that, right? Sameness. Perceiving sameness is a much more helpful energy. And even more helpful than perceiving sameness is if you perceive unity or connection. Or even more helpful if you know in your heart oneness. Being selfless or altruistic. Being centered in the whole, just wanting what's best for everyone. Giving simply to give, right? Seeing generosity as its own end. Very helpful energy. Think about how wonderful the world would be if that energy was strong in the world. Everybody was just giving only to give, just loving generosity. Being present in the eternal now. Just staying with what is instead of having regrets or grievances about the past or worrying or fretting about the future, right? Just being right here, right now with what is. And having that sense that here and now is perfect. Also, introspection, looking at yourself. And compassion for others, including compassionate listening compassionate understanding, openness or open-mindedness, equanimity, a sense of contentment or peace, and of course, happiness, joy, love, bliss, very helpful energies. When you just choose to be happy, you're actually helping the whole world because you're sending out such a helpful energy. Being guided by intuition instead of the thinking and all of the judgment and fear and attack and all of that that's in the thinking. Just being guided by intuition is very helpful. Seeing with clarity or even seeking clarity through your own journaling process instead of believing your misperceptions. Being surrendered. Being humble yet confident. Humble but trusting your guidance, humble yet confident. And a really important, helpful energy, allowing others just to be as they are, not wanting to fix or change or judge anyone, just allowing them to be as they are. Oh my gosh, that's such a helpful energy. And simplicity. Emptiness, stillness, or silence. So the time you spend, for example, in meditation, very helpful energy for the entire universe. Again, that was empty or stillness or silence. And acceptance, accepting what is as it is instead of judgment, acceptance. And also allowance, allowing things to be as they are. Being okay with not knowing. Okay with not knowing. Having a sense of freedom, just a sense of freedom, not needing it to look a certain way. A sense of beauty, a sense of life, a sense of abundance. Again, not an all-inclusive list, but we've seen now some of the wrong-minded energies which really cause trouble in the world and cause trouble for ourselves. And the right-minded energies which really benefit the world. When you are focusing on those energies, you're really giving a wonderful gift to the world, and you receive that gift as well. Funny, I don't know if I mentioned love, but not special love, just loving what is as it is, right? So in this next week, again, we're going to be listening to some audios from NTI Ephesians, reading NTI Ephesians, practicing the walkabout exercises from NTI Ephesians. Let me peek and see if there's anything unusual. Oh, we're also going to be starting NTI Philippians. We'll finish NTI Ephesians 6, and we'll begin NTI Philippians 1 this week. I think that's it. I think that's really all there is to share. So I'll let you go. It's been wonderful spending this time with you. I'm so glad I went over the right-minded list second instead of the wrong-minded list second, because at least it left me feeling good. See, I received the energy just going through the list. I can feel it. So, all right, well, I'll let you go, and I'll see you next week. Bye.